What's up, guys? Here's Coach MFO. We are here today to talk about butterfly pull-up. So what I want to do is every Saturday, every second Saturday of the month, I plan on doing one of these. So if you have any particular movements you want me to go over, either gymnastics, weightlifting, or something in particular that you want to have a bit more of explanations, let me know. Particularly now that we're heading to the Opens, I think it would be a great moment to start refining, really going into the details of being efficient with your movement. So hit me up. Donc bonjour tout le monde, ici Coach MFO. Donc aujourd'hui je voudrais parler du Butterfly Pull Up. Donc on est à quelques semaines des Open, puis je voudrais faire à chaque deuxième samedi du mois un petit moment pour discuter de différents mouvements, que ce soit la gymnastique, haltérophilie ou des choses particulières pour affiner en vue des Open, que ce soit en français, en espagnol ou en anglais. Laissez-moi savoir si vous avez des choses en particulier. En espagnol maintenant. Entonces, buenos días todos. Aquí es el coach Misar Fuentes Ortega. Hoy quisiera platicar de los butterfly pull-up. No sé cómo se dice en español, cómo se diría pull-ups en mariposa. Pues sí, quisiera pasar un poco de tiempo explicando detalles sobre los movimientos, que sean movimientos de gimnasia, que sean movimientos de levantamientos olímpicos, o simplemente estrategias para permitir de ser un poco más eficiente en lo que es gimnasia o movimientos que sean para los Open. Ok, entonces vamos a comenzar Butterfly Pull-Up. So if at any time you have any particular questions, hit me up. We're going to start with Butterfly Pull-Ups. So Butterfly Pull-Ups, what I like to test first with my athletes is if they're strong enough. So if you're a beginner, sometimes what's limiting is the grip. So grip strength is a must. I like to test it. I like to train it. How? As simple as you hanging on the bar. Let me see if you see me. Yes. So active hang. It's important to keep tension on the shoulders. You hang there. I like to ask for my athletes that they can hang for 2 minutes. 2 minutes unbroken. So some things that you can do, you can start working with 30-second sets, you rest and you go back at it, 30 seconds. Yes, at the beginning your hands are gonna burn. Like my gymnastic coach used to say, put some chalk. If they hurt more, put more chalk. All right. Second thing, are you strong enough? Pull up. So for the pull-up, I like to ask for my athletes to be able to do 10 strict pull-ups. Often we try to precipitate the kipping action. Kipping is going to make things a lot easier, but it doesn't mean that you're ready for it. Why? Because as you come back down from that acceleration, all your weight is going to land on your shoulders. So that's where we have a lot of shoulder pain, and it can be really, really easily prevented by working a bit more on providing strength. So we all know what a pull-up is. Spend time there. So really activating shoulders, bringing chin over the bar. I like to see a tempo, 2 seconds on top, and then controlling, 3 seconds down. Often we see that the athletes are not strong enough. So what they're going to do, they're going to try to arch their back, they're going to try to cheat, or not cheat, they're going to try to compensate. So if you see that that's happening to you, what I suggest is that you bring your knees up. Now you're going to really be exposed into working with your upper body strength. So tucking your knees, activating core, activating shoulders. So that is a key, spend time there. It's very important that you're strong enough in order for you to start playing with more complex movements or more dynamic movements. So that's one part. Another part that I look at, core activation. We like to think of the hollow position, in French, courbette. So with that, we all know the hollow position, basic stuff. So really, I want to make sure that my back is flat on the floor. I want to bring my hands up and I stay here. So if you can hold for 2 minutes, that would be a great test. You can train for it, of course. Start 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 1 minute, 130, and 2 minutes. All right, so that could be one. The second one, it's Superman. So when you're on the floor, hands up, legs together, keep your head neutral. Often I see we're breaking at the neck. So these two positions appear really, really basic, but that's key for the kip. Why put a bit more time in there? It's because that's your engine. So being able to provide open and close and being dynamic with it, it's important. The core needs to be strong enough to provide that dynamic motion. The more dynamic I am, the easier it's going to be for me to go up. So that brings us to the next position, the the beat swing. So beat swing, open, let me go slow. Beat swing, we are opening at the hip, opening at the shoulder, and then we're closing at the hip, we're closing at the shoulder. So it's important to have the rhythm. It's important to recognize the precise moment where I'm kicking. So why I'm bringing your awareness there is because there's a difference between doing toes to bar, doing chest to bar, doing bar muscle ups or butterfly pull-ups, right? But what is common to them is the kip. The timing of the kip is very important, and this is gonna either make or break your butterfly pull-up. So bring awareness to the moment. So if you look at this line, there's a precise moment in time where the hip is open, and there's a precise moment where I'm being dynamic with the hip, I'm dynamic with the back, with the pulling action. Just like when you're doing a soccer kick or just when you're punching, there's a dynamic motion, and it needs to be very crisp. It needs to be very powerful, like 1 split of a second. That's what's gonna give you your momentum to go up. The faster it is, the more power you're gonna get, but it needs to be perfectly timed. So let's go again with it. Notice also the hands. I have my thumb under. I prefer that because it gives me a stronger grip. It allows me also to feel where I am relative to the bar. Also, notice the regrip on the back. So, beat swing. Good. So that is the basics. Practice that. Another basics, the scap pull up. So we talked about the hip. This is your engine that is going to allow the body to go up and down. Now the shoulder, the scap pull up is going to be an important one. Why? Because that's what's going to allow you to create that circular flow. So go back again with the basics. Recognize the motion that is required for that. So what do I mean here? So here, activate shoulders. Now scap pull up. Go back, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down. And you can start putting some motion in there, and you will feel how the hip is gonna want to start moving with it. All right? So these are the two moving components. You have the shoulder moving, you have the hip moving. Now we need to combine both of them. So the moment that I kip, I'm gonna start pulling into the bar, and I need to be precise with that. So for the butterfly pull-up, in order to work, imagine a wheel. When you started learning how to drive a bicycle, at first, because you don't have a lot of speed, it's difficult to maintain a straight line. But as you acquire speed, it's easier to stay in balance. So this is the same thing. So we need to understand that timing, the timing at which I kip, the timing at which I pull, and the timing at which I'm moving in space. We talked about the moment at which we're kipping, and it's important to recognize it. So for if you are starting to do butterfly pull-ups, or if you have troubles with the timing, Because what I see often is that we try to go too fast, too high. So often I see we do, and then we fall, and then we lose it, and then we kick, and then we fall. So basically, that momentum is lost. Now you start from scratch. So if you're doing that, stop, get off the bar, and relearn that motion. Feel that shoulder motion, feel that thoracic motion, feel that hip motion. But more importantly, feel it that it's time, right? So what I suggest is that you start slow. So I start with the shoulder scap, I start with my kip, right? And what's important is that as I come back down, I come back to that same open position. So I can kip, I move back on my scap pull up, I move forward, and as I am going down in space, I'm going back into that same position. And that's what's key, because the moment we are up, then we start moving all over the place, and then we're fucked. Sorry, we're screwed. It doesn't work anymore. Right at that point, come off, breathe. Often, either mental focus is off, either physical fatigue starts to settle in. So I recommend stop, put some chalk, breathe, take a couple of breaths. So if you're doing the opens and you expect to do 30 butterfly pull-ups and you're not there yet, or you feel that the rhythm is off, stop, breathe, and go back at it. It's better to break them down and be efficient than try to do a big set and be all over the place. You're gonna waste more energy. So to go back to my example, same idea. We're gonna be able to move gradually. So that kip is important, and I can go higher and higher and higher. So that is key, to go gradual, to understand as I come back down, to be able to come back to that open position so that I can kip back again. In order to practice 6, 10 repetitions, come back down, film yourself, see where you're at, and you can feel. What I like to ask my athletes to do is to close their eyes and to focus on the breath. I go back often to that because that's a good guide. To be dynamic, or the moment of the most critical contraction, that's where I'm gonna try to exhale or hold my breath. The moment of relaxation, this is where I'm gonna be inhaling. And this can happen very fast. The cycle rate is gonna be very fast. So my moment of contraction is when I kip and I'm pulling. My moment of relaxation is like when I come down. So I need to time that with the breathing. I need to time that with the kip, and I need to time that with the shoulder rotation. So start gradual. That's my best advice I can give you. Close your eyes and breathe. Feel, like Bruce Lee would say. So one more time, gradual. Cool? So, practice particular awareness to your hands. If you feel that the hands start to rip, maybe you're gripping too much. You don't need to grip that hard, just enough to hang on the bar. And you know it, right? You know when you start slipping, come down. Breathe, have fun with it, film yourself. Study that video, ask your coach, ask me if you have any particular questions, and have fun. All right? Until next time.